here. Been through hell and back. I am here. I am stronger than I know I'm gonna be fine. I am here.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Golden's Guide. And for those of you who may not have tuned in to the last couple episodes, as I have grown and expanded, so has our show. So, we were calling it Golden's Guide to Divorce, and now it's called Golden's Guide. Of course, I'm your host, Deborah Hawkins, and we're here in Bronx Studios. I'm so excited today. I have a friend and colleague here that I want you to meet. So many people already know her and of what she does, but I'm there about every week. So I laugh and say, they should just have me in office there. I want to introduce you to Karen Weaver,
Yes.
owner of Oase Day Spa. And I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
And happy anniversary.
Thank you. I know. Whew. I was telling the team, we were laughing. It's been a year, but sometimes it feels like 10. 10 years. We have gone through it this past year. It's been interesting.
Well, you certainly have, because I remember meeting you right before you opened, and it was smack dab in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's just start there.
Okay.
I mean, what was that like trying to open a brand new business? Although, I mean, it wasn't... You weren't new to the industry, but it was a brand new business
it
for
was.
you. Yeah.
So the building where we're in, we actually purchased that in January of 2020. So before anything really started happening. And it was very ironic. I got our building permits to renovate the building the week that everything closed down for COVID. So that week of March 14th, which I was like, yes. Then I was like, oh, yes, no, I'm not sure what I want to do here. And it took about a week. It took, I called my banker, I called my coach, and just really trying to process through that. What do I want to do? Because financially, it was a huge commitment of what I was about to do with the renovations. And so it did, like I said, it took about a week. And then I decided, I think people like me will want someplace to come when this settles down a little bit. And so it was a lot of fun renovating the building. I'm an Enneagram 4, so I love the the creative aesthetics part of things. So that was a lot of fun for me to transform that old building that was a law firm. It probably hadn't been touched since mid-90s or so.
Right.
So it had the green carpet and the teal walls, and but the structure was perfect for what we needed for the day spa. So I love creating something beautiful creating something from nothing. That's really kind of what my passion is. So to turn that building around on East North Street at the same time where East North Street has started to turn around.
Right.
Kind of led by Fork and Plow and Given and Boheme, those, that little strip center
now
down
Core
there.
Strong is right down
now
there.
Core Grow Strong and Anchorage, Mr. Crisp is coming in. So we're really, that whole East North Street is really becoming a destination place. And it's so fun to watch the families walk around, and it's turning around. So it's cool.
You've done just an amazing job, and it is one of the most serene places I've been in.
So.
One reason that I was so drawn to your facility to begin with is because you are all about clean makeup, clean products, clean nails. I mean, I remember that was the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Did you remember we talked about that?
Yes, you have.
Because I have an autoimmune thing, which so many people do, and even if you don't, some of the nail products are just horrible when they're absorbed. Obviously, you can talk about that more than me. But and then once I found out everything was so clean, a waterless system for nails and pedicures, and well, we're not going to go there. But you told me some stuff about about the water and pedicures in some places, and it's horrible. But how did you get into this? How did you find this path of really looking for clean, natural products?
Well, I went back to aesthetic school in 2016, and I was just trying to find solutions for me. I wanted to age well, but I didn't want to I wanted to do it in the healthiest way possible. So in a way of that inside out, like how can I get my body as healthy as possible? Because then it really does, you glow when you have that that healthy inside, and you may have a wrinkle or two or whatever, but that doesn't mean you're not still glowing and beautiful. And I think we need to embrace aging a little bit better in America. So that's a whole nother, topic.
I agree with you.
And a whole nother topic.
I mean, I'm still Botox free.
Yeah.
But
I know. But there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's really not. It's really not. It's just the problem is, especially in America, we are bombarded with toxins every single day.
Yes.
So whether it's your home, plug Glade, your detergent, your Febreze, your plug-in in your car. I mean, so many of the things. Perfumes. Oh, yeah.
Lotions.
All of it. So it's not one thing. It's the cumulative things.
Right.
And so being aware of that in your environment, so many of these hormonal disruptors that we deal with as men and women come from our environment. Come from those things that you just don't even think about, like the artificial fragrance type stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to create a place. Well, so when I went to school, I just wanted to find clean skincare that we could really work from the inside out of the skin too. So that was where that started. And then when I decided to open up the day spa, I wanted to continue that philosophy into the day spa. So I wanted the environment to be as clean as possible, non-toxic as possible, including our team members.
Yeah.
We have a great team of just hardworking women that, there's no drama. And because the toxic environment can also create a ton of stress, right? And stress is one of the biggest problems, really, especially with aging too. So anyway, when I was kind of researching different services I wanted to have in the spa, I already knew the skincare part of it, but the massage piece, massage, the lotion is the main thing. And then the nails I wanted to create a waterless experience so that it was more hygienic, better for the environment because you're not wasting all that water. And everybody says it's so relaxing, and lots of people fall asleep in there. So, for people who do want to go do the soak in the tubs, listen, we're not all things to all people. That's why there's tons of businesses around. You find what your spot is, and that's where you go. So, but I do love everything that our philosophy that we have set up over there, and I feel like we have a really great guest base that comes to see us, and we're really, really kind of building a wonderful culture.
Speaking of culture, I don't know that I can pronounce the word.
Hygge?
I always want to say hygiene.
I know.
Tell us about that and how you incorporated that culture into this.
Yes. So my dad is Danish, and I got reconnected with my Danish side of my family.
So that's all your beauty, all that. Yeah.
My Danish, it's a really cool way of life over there. They bike everywhere. They eat healthy whole foods. And I was talking to my cousins over there about, Botox and that kind of thing. And they don't do it as much. It's just very expensive over there. It's not a, I don't know. They don't have anything against it. It's just a little bit different. But they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And they have wrinkles, but they are, they're from being in the sun, and just having that really healthy lifestyle. So anyway, hygge is a word in Danish that means kind of cozy, serene. There's no direct translation, but a sense of well-being, if you will. So that's really the word. It's even on our mats that we got at IKEA.
I love it.
Because IKEA is a Swedish store, so they're the Scandi store as well. But we wanted to just bring that feeling into our space where people. The reason why I built Oase in the first place was I wanted a place where women could come and recharge. We just push and push and push and don't ever let ourselves not be busy, just even for an hour or two.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is amazing, the women who come in and get a service and come either early or stay after their service and just bring a book and take an hour or so. The hours that you get back in your life and your productivity and your creativity just by doing that are exponential. It's not 1-to-1. It's like 1-to-100 is the return on investment that you're making on yourself just by unplugging and leaving that phone silent in your bag, not checking it. And it takes discipline because we just get so busy.
It really does. I'm one of those people that, I rush in early or late, have another appointment.
Right.
And I mean, I hate to say, but I'm going to, that I haven't experienced one of those amazing rooms
Yeah.
where it's quiet and there's salt lamps and there's aromatherapy and there's tea and I agree with you. I mean, when I unplug is when I'm my most creative. I'm my most intuitive. And obviously all kind of stress gets released.
If you try to push through, you're just going to keep hitting a wall. That's just what I have found. And I know lots of creative people, especially female entrepreneurs and businesswomen, women, we have as women, we have a whole nother responsibility for childcare and elder care that men do not, here and there, but we are the main ones that really take on that responsibility. So you think about the load of Glennon Doyle and her sister. They have a episode called Overwhelm.
Yes. I love it.
The Overwhelm
episode
episode on We Can Do Hard Things is incredible. They talk about that ticker tape.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh, the ticker tape never stops our head. So even though somebody says, I'll take the dog to the vet, well, did they give them? I don't know. It's like, it's just a constant thing going through our minds. So anyway.
Because we're so used to doing everything.
That's right.
It's even hard to let someone else help sometimes.
I know. I feel like things are changing, though. I feel like we are becoming more aware of this, and at least I am. And hopefully, talking to them, giving them permission that you do not have to do it all. That is not the expectation. That is truly, we are putting that expectation on ourselves. Like we are not failing as women and moms and daughters and sisters if we do not take it all on. Let somebody else do it. It may not be exactly how you would do it, but oh my gosh, it's better just to have it done than have to keep that ticker tape going.
Yeah, and the whole idea of just, we did a walkthrough the other day for another reason, and I saw some of the other rooms because I haven't taken advantage of them. And just the environment that you're really creating. And I do think you're right. I do think it's changing because there is kind of a thread running out there now about do less and create more.
Right.
Or, am I saying that right? It's something like that.
No, do less, but yes.
It's about, slowing down just the do in order to really create in a more healthy way or in a more efficient, maybe that's it.
I think too, as women, as we get older and the kids grow up and you have a little bit more time to think, I realized looking back that I used busyness as a distraction instead of really facing some hard issues in my life.
Absolutely.
And it's whether it's romance novels or Hallmark TV or alcohol, whatever, but there's so many ways. Yeah, Netflix. There's so many ways to distract where if we just can get silent, it is scary because there's those little whispers that come up. But when you acknowledge those and when you actually start talking about those with the people that are involved, it's amazing. I started to get a really tight constricting around my throat, and I was intuitive enough to realize that was something that I needed to communicate. And once I did and started that open communication, it went away. So I just, you can't read your body if you're busy all the time. You've got to just take a step back and assess. And our bodies will whisper and whisper until they will smack us across the face.
Exactly.
Hard about, you've got to pay attention to what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And to acknowledge that, and people might think it's woo-woo, but it's true. We are all one big mind, body, spirit.
No, listen, I've been saying this at the table the whole time. Yeah. You could have been sitting here with me because this is what I've talked about. Every single episode, there's been something about acknowledging our feelings or slowing down a little bit or paying attention.
Yes.
Because I do think that's why most people don't want to slow down, because you're right. I'm a shadow coach, so there are things in there that we don't want to think about, deal with, hear, acknowledge,
Yeah.
But when we do, there's a lot that can happen. And even for me, I recognize what you're saying so much about your throat closing up. Years ago, I went through a really hard situation where I wasn't able to speak up when I was angry, when all these things were going on. And sure enough, at least you acknowledged it soon enough. It stayed in my body long enough until I developed a thyroid.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. That's the next thing that happens.
And thyroid is like, for women, it's like astronomical out there.
We think about how much women push down and don't speak their
Yes.
truth and speak about what
We're
they need.
scared. We've never been encouraged to be angry. You know, we're the caretakers. We're the,
Yeah.
you know, we do everything. So, yeah, I think that's a huge conversation.
Yeah. I think about my mom. She said growing up, her dad would always tell her, you're to be seen, not heard. Seen, not heard. That's that female, you're to be seen, not heard. You're not welcome at the table. So whether or not, just like subconsciously, some of those messages were, she never said that to me. My parents never said that to me. But no telling what that upbringing subconsciously, those feelings to me, and then even to my daughter. The other day, my daughter's like, I'm going to marry wealthy. I'm like, how about you just be wealthy? And then maybe also marry wealthy. But how about you be the one? You be the one that you can do it. Who's to say you can't? It's because they're modeling what they see, that it's the dad that's bringing home the money. Doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
I really want to teach our daughters differently. That I have started to tell my kids, this is all just a new whole, revelation over the past 3 years, but I have started to tell them, I want you to disappoint as many people as possible. The last person you can disappoint is yourself. You have to live your truth, and the people who because it's amazing when you do, the people that come into your life, when you think you're going to be alone, the people who come into your life to support you in that truth, it's like, it's this weird, you open it up and they come.
When you stop the people pleasing
That's right.
and that
That's
kind of
right.
stuff, then you do open up for, new things and things that are going to support your growth.
Right.
Exactly. I'm just so resonating with every single thing you're saying. And, that's one reason that I'm expanding the show.
Yes.
Is because what I realized along the way when I was talking about divorce, it really mirrors any challenge.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about divorce, loss, stress, overwork, sickness, the way that we heal and get through a challenge, it's all the same. It just depends on what the situation is, And I just wanted to mention too, I had the big 2x4, as you recall, a few days before Christmas. And of course, I was brokenhearted from the divorce and from other things in my family that were just breaking my heart.
Right.
When we say these things, we don't even realize.
I know how powerful our words are.
And what's already going on.
That's right.
And so, boom, it wasn't out of the blue
Right.
to say that.
Right.
I was stressed to the max, and I was not listening to myself anymore. I was not allowing myself to be treated well, and it blew up.
Yeah, with your heart attack.
So, I think we can scream it from the rooftops. It's more than ever. It's time for women to take care of themselves.
Yes.
And even just as we're talking about our children and our daughters watching, thinking, oh, it's the man with the money or whatever. Well, we have seen that. Not having power with, the whole Me Too movement.
Yeah.
I hate to beat a dead horse, but that's happened. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. It's happened to almost every woman on the planet.
Yeah.
And then as well as that we're still not being paid.
Oh, yeah.
What what a man would.
And we
Same job.
don't feel like we should. I went to this business retreat last week with Sally Holder, who's been my business coach for years.
Oh, I want to have her on here.
Oh, you need to have her.
Please.
Yes, you should have her. But she said that women in the workforce get paid 86 or 80 something cents to every man's dollar. But female entrepreneurs only get paid 56 cents on every male dollar because we don't feel our worth, that we charge what we need to charge. We feel guilty about it. So never mind. Maybe you won't like me if I charge that much and our charge is not our worth, but it certainly should reflect the value that we bring. And men have no problem saying that they are worth $1, where women think they're worth 56 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Hell no, we're worth the whole damn dollar.
Yeah. And a lot of it, and it ends up being personal work that you have to do. I'm doing a lot of writing these days, and I was writing about women and money and the correlation between women, money, and power and men. And I had a memory about my dad, and I used to work in my dad's restaurant, and I was terrified of the cash register. And so as I'm looking at my own patterns of, fear of power and money, I'm remembering that, as a 10-year-old trying to bring up one of those old cash registers, I'm telling my age now, I would just freak out and freeze, and I would be embarrassed, and I would think people are saying, dang, she can't even count.
Right.
Then my dad would come over and be like, move,
Right. I got
like
it.
the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And so I think that was at 10 years old. It was being planted in me then.
Right.
I didn't know how to deal with money. So I think when women really start looking at the patterns in our childhoods, and of course, I'm a coach, so I'm always looking at all that. But I think we can find a lot of things that we don't know are in there that are running the show today.
That's right.
And we don't even realize
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I agree.
Well, I know we talk. I want to go back one more time to the COVID thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't. I know it was hard, but in looking, looking from the outside in, I mean, it looks like you ended up thriving somehow. As an entrepreneur, as a woman running a team, and I know you have no men in there.
We love men. It's fine.
We just don't want to work with them. No, that's not true. That's not true, Sergio. So what was it in you? I mean, how did you pull out whatever you needed to get through?
Well, let's see. I think I have always had a belief that things will work out. And I think as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to have that belief that you take on risk thinking it's going to work out. Or my other go-to, which I always do, is worst case scenario, So worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. I sell the building. I've learned a lot. I'm not going to die from it. I'm going to just enjoy the personal growth. And that's really why I did it. That's why I expanded from just having that one aesthetics room to having now a team of 10 people in this 3,900 square foot building, because I wanted the personal growth. I wanted that. I've always said I've always been a female business owner that kind of used aesthetics to kind of channel that. But as far as getting through, business coach, I have a couple of coaches. I have Sally Holder, which was in the beginning, and then I have another company called Strategies that coach salon and spas specifically. So financially, I had all of the framework. I put together cash flow plan, all the things that get businesses in trouble because they're not keeping very close eye on their numbers. They coached me through that. So I'm at least smart enough to know what I don't know and bring on the people to help me in that arena. But it has been a struggle because, we went through a period where we had daily cancellations because of either positive tests or exposure. And then because when we started the business, we did not get any federal funding because you had to have started by September of 2019, and we didn't start. And then it moved to February of 2020, but we actually didn't get our business license till June of 2020. But still had all of the effects that everybody else did. And then, of course, we're still struggling with hiring. We, like everybody else, I drove down the street yesterday. There's a now hiring sign in almost every business and having to reduce hours. And so, I think everybody is just doing the best they can. I think there's a low level of anxiety still about what's going to happen with COVID. I mean, it's still here. It's still very real. The kids, it's just been a lot. And so deep breathing, trying to meditate when I can. Another coach I have is Sarah Rhodes, who's my health coach. I brought her on to help me because I'm my cautionary tale, because I really was headed down the road of something, a complete breakdown, heart attack. It was probably, probably June that Sarah was in the relaxation room, and something said, just sit down. And I never talk about my personal stuff with people who are relaxing, but somehow it came up, and I said, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like my hair was falling out by the clumps. I mean, I was so
Stress.
stressed.
Yeah.
And my diet was terrible and I wasn't eating enough and my blood sugar. So anyway, I got my blood done and she was like, oh yeah, you're pretty much in adrenal complete failure. So now that we've been working on that, I feel much better. So it is, gosh, just surrounding yourself with the people that can help you weather the storm, because it has been a storm and I am tired. I am tired. And I am just now taking time for myself to say, I'm going away for 4 days. And I went to a monastery, last weekend and just had a silent retreat. And I just have to take the time to recharge, because
Silent retreats are like gold.
I know.
And
You get so bored with yourself that, God, I'm so sick of thinking. But you got to push through. But I came back, and you even saw me like the day. You're like, you're radiating. I was like,
wow,
probably because
you look like, yeah, you look fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it pays off. And I'm so glad to hear you saying this to our audience, as a businesswoman, because it sounds like, I mean, you're doing almost everything you can do for yourself and for your business.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're not cutting any corners about your health. And obviously, if there's no Karen, there's not going to be, a spa.
That's right.
And I think that's when a lot of us just think, oh, I have to keep going. I have to do it. And so I'm glad you're saying all this.
You cannot keep going, because if you don't listen, then the things like you were talking about, the bigger health issues can come up, and then you're no good to anybody,
Right.
especially yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, God, we're not on this planet to work ourselves to death.
And I think as women, we judge our worth on how hard we're working, how many things we checked off the to-do list, the never-ending to-do list.
Yes.
How much we got done today, and I was talking to one of my friends about that this week, about how that's our worth. Like if we take a day, it feels like you can feel guilty.
I know. You really have to be intentional about I'm not feeling guilty, because I fall into that too.
Yeah.
But you have to take the day or the days. And as a female entrepreneur, I can say that the pressure I've taken off myself is that this business does not define my value or my worth. It can fail, and
Say
it's
that
fine.
again for the people in the back.
The people in the back. The business does not, this business that I have poured my heart and soul into, and sometimes feel like I'm trying to prove something, actually does not prove my value or my worth. And if it fails, I'm actually okay with that now. I really am.
And
when
you've
people
learned a crap ton.
Yeah, when people
along the way.
call and some people are not happy about maybe our policy or this or that, I'm like, well, they're just not our people. And if it becomes that nobody's our people, I guess that'll be it.
You'll
Be on
still
to the
be
next thing.
okay.
I'll
You'll
still-
move on to the next.
We will all be okay.
No,
Be okay. And you just, do the thing. Do not worry about failing. It doesn't, do it for the right reason, I guess is what I'm
I want to go back to this one thing when you said you were teaching your children about it's important to disappoint people.
Yeah.
I had I've got a thing about therapists because I've had a lot of them, but I had a great therapist years and years ago, and she ended up writing it on a sticky. I carried it in my wallet, Karen, for probably at least 6 years, to the point it was just crumbling. And it said, this is what she wrote and gave it to me: "It is my job to disappoint at least one person every day."
Yeah.
And that was like 2000?
I'll put a 2.0 on that, to disappoint people, but then not ruminate about it for the next week about how you disappointed the people.
That was 20 years ago, but I mean,
but the second part of that is do it and move on. I promise they're not thinking about you.
Of course not.
As much as you think you're thinking, they're thinking about you.
Yeah, we're so vain
I know.
thinking anybody really
They're
has
thinking
time
about
to
themselves.
think
They're thinking about what's the thing that they just did, So, but that's great. I love it.
I know we're at about time, but I did want to ask you about, I love your team. And, I was in management years ago as a banker, and I know how hard it can be managing. But I don't know, you seem to really have it down. And I just have to really give you kudos, because I know it starts at the top. And your team is, not just it's not like I have just one or two favorites. I mean, I love them all.
Yeah.
And they like each other. You can see that. You can feel that. And so what's your magic pill on that one?
Well, I think it's two things. The first is everything starts with culture, but you've got to define that as the leader. You have to define what that culture is as much as you can. We have refined it by team members that are no longer with us that have helped me hone in, like, okay, this is really what I do want, what I don't want. So now let's refine that vision a little bit more, because you learn. So I would say the culture piece of it is huge, because then you hire for the culture. So when you hire for the culture, when you interview somebody, either they identify, you figure out pretty quickly that they're not a good fit for your culture, or vice versa, they hear your culture and they're like, not really, this is not what I want to be a part of, which is okay too. You know, it's like a two-way street. You want to be a good fit for each other. And then the other thing, we are a team-based business. So, you know, it's very rare in the salon and spa industry to have a team where we're all hourly paid. We're not commission-based. So our job...
Oh, I'm glad you're bringing that up.
Yeah,
I was going to ask
our
about
job is... Each one of us has a job to fill everybody's schedule on the book. So it's not like my schedule, her schedule, my book, hers. It's our book, and we work together to, like, you could go see one nail tech one week, one nail tech the next week, and it's fine. It's fine. There's no competition there. We're all employees, so it's not a 1099 situation, which a lot of salons and spas run. That it's really hard to create a team when you're 1099s, because you're your own. You're supposed to be your own business owner. A lot of people do 1099s. Illegally, or, you know, not by the book. And so when you're your own 1099 person, you're not part of a team. There's no way to create a team atmosphere with that kind of setup in a business. So we have created just a great culture, a great team. Our interview process is pretty extensive. So do
you do any, like, personality testing, or
you know, we do the Enneagram test just to see kind of where that person, so because we're also big believers of, you know, we have two hands and a brain. So even though it might be an esthetician, well, she also has a lot of other skills. Could be creative, could be organizational, could be whatever. So we really work to utilize all those skills.
I love that.
Yeah. And it has worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it shows.
Thank you.
It really shows. Now, you know, the other thing I really love about you and your organization is that I know you give back a lot too. And do you have different organizations now, or is there just one? Or I know you've done a lot with Jasmine Road. And
well, we did there. So we do a quarterly outreach event where we open the spa up to a group of women, and we don't really have one organization that we work with. The first one we did was Moms from Hope, Project Hope, which was moms of autistic kids, and the organization helps us identify those women. So they come in for a full day of spa services, complimentary. This past time, Fork and Plow donated lunch. Claire's Creamery donated their ice cream for dessert. So that was Jasmine Road was the last group that came in. So we're always looking for groups. If anybody has an idea, please let us know. We're always looking for deserving groups to come in and let us pamper them. I always wanted this to have an outreach part of it.
I love that. Yeah, because I think you have to.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's you know, I think at this point, and you and I have the same philosophy on. I mean, it's just about women supporting women.
Yes.
I mean, the competition crap has to just.
I agree.
Well, and you and I are. I mean, we're kind of the next. You know, we're kind of into the generation of we've been there, done all that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, anyway, I just I love everything you're doing.
Thank you.
I love your spa.
Thank you.
I love your employees, and most of all, I love Karen.
Oh,
because I mean, I don't know. I'm just so connected with you.
Same.
I appreciate you so much.
Same.
And
I'm excited for your next journey. I'm really proud of you for recognizing that chapter, what that served you with Golden's Guide to Divorce, that chapter has served you well. But now you're moving on, and I'm so excited for your next chapter. The best is yet to come for you. I mean, it is just so many good things.
I'm feeling that way.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I mean, I have a co-host now,
Yes.
and it's expanded, and of course, continuing to support women. It's not like I'm not going to talk about divorce, but it's still all about what women are interested in and how we can expand and support each other and empower each other.
Well, so my personal Instagram is @KarenWeaver_Oase Day Spa. If you just do @KarenWeaver, you'll find me. But I am always loving to give advice or guidance to or point women in the right direction if they're looking at starting their own business or just being a cheerleader. I mean,
would you come back and we could do a round table about women in business?
Yes,
I would love that.
That would be fun. We really can all succeed together. Like I said earlier, every business speaks to different people, and so there really is no competition, because what people find attractive in our business, they'll come to us, but what people don't find attractive in our business, they'll find another one, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Do not be all things to all people. That is not a possibility. So,
if I was worried about competition, I mean, in the podcast world, there's only about 30 gazillion.
Right. I know.
So
that's good.
But all right. So people can find you at
Oase Day Spa, OASE, which is actually Danish for Oasis. Day Spa on
Love
Instagram. Thank you. And then Oase Day Spa on Facebook.
And we'll put all that in the show notes too, everyone, so you can find her. And by the way, are you hiring?
I am hiring.
She's hiring.
I am hiring.
So I think you've sold yourself pretty good here. So,
I would love to have more team members. We are expanding and always looking to meet other great women out there that can kind of enhance our business, and we can also enhance their lives as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I will. I will. This is fun.
All right. Yeah. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today. It was so fun having Karen, and hopefully I'll get her back. And until next time, we'll see you back at Golden's Guide. Have a good one.
I am here. After all my tears, I am here, facing all my fears. I'm alive and I'm alright. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be fine. I am here, been through hell and back. I am here, I am stronger than the doubts inside of my mind. Yeah, I know I'm